Alright, well. Odd place for the bomb to be, and even more odd is that Raiden can't just... He can't just flip over that and walk over to that nice inviting door and node. So we're gonna have to sneak past all of these dudes. Oh, but this man... This man wants to come over here.
Nothing here.
Nothing here. What if we just give him a little of this? Never know what hit him.
You got me. Stay on lookout for the intruder.
No, no, no. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just worry about the node. Look, we got radar data now. How nice. Now we're at the DE connecting bridge. What fun awaits us at the DE connecting bridge? Well, believe it or not a cutscene for once. Actual sneaking. We finally gotten to the sneaking point of the stealth game. But there's a lot of dudes over there. So we gotta be careful. We're only armed with an unsuppressed Special Operations Command pistol at this point, so we probably don't want to use that. Might get us into more trouble than we need to be. But if the coast is... Oh, no, the coast was not clear. There was a man with binoculars. Yeah, so you might be noticing... this game, huh? This game? Things were going a lot better in the tanker. Things were a little more well-paced, a little more well-designed. You might even go so far as to say. Is there a narrative reason for this? Maybe. Is it flimsy at best? Maybe. But at least we can hide under things. I mean, that's, you know, that's never steered us wrong. And at least they have plenty of boxes of the orange. And, do you see it right there? Cardboard box, my beloved. But let's activate the node first. Alright. Nope. Tokugawa. Tokugawa Heavy Industries manufactured this box sorting machine. That is text that we'll see again in this franchise. But, if it seems familiar, I don't remember exactly what it's a reference to, but I do know it appears on the Cyborg Ninja's helmet. And speaking of references, if I can just swoosh on by here, you might see that we've got a Zone of the Enders box. It's made to transport game software. The eye design is eye-catching, equipped to wear. Level 5 door, can't get in there. We can get the mine detector. For some reason, there was a mine detector amongst all these boxes of Zone of the Enders. I believe in the PS2 versions of the game, these were McFarlane Toys boxes. And I believe they were McFarlane Toys boxes up until the Master Collection. But of course, that license has long since expired. And we get a nice little ration down there. So we're going to look for bombs here. But I don't see any fart gas, do you? And, worst of all, we still don't have the M9. So we got to be very, very cautious. Because those dudes, they're not messing around. We do have some stairs up here, though. So let's see. So far, every strut has just been one not very exciting room. But here we've got a heliport. Heliports are pretty cool. There's a nice heliport in Shadow Moses. Oh. Oh, there's a cutscene out here.
I've taken care of that annoying fly.
So,
The situation over there.
Puzzling. I saw a man dressed like a
in the
ninja
Japanese
just now.
version of the game,
Ninja.
It's the only way to describe it. A
we
kind of
recognize
cyborg ninja
that
combined
Russian
with a sword.
accent in the American version of the game as Olga, but as I mentioned before, Olga was voiced by Meryl
Olga.
in the
Wasn't an Arsenal Tengu.
Japanese version, so she sounded like Meryl talking.
Think I wouldn't know
The man she's talking to on the other end
All
of this call,
Intensify patrols.
we haven't heard this voice yet.
One more thing. You'll find it hard to believe, though. I saw a man hiding under a cardboard box
Where?
on the connecting bridge to Shell 2. So you believe me this time?
I've seen someone use that box trick before.
So that voice that we haven't heard yet in English, that's Solid Snake's voice in the Japanese version.
Freeze!
So that sounded like Snake talking to Meryl if you were to play this in Japanese.
Of course not. What a thing to say.
What a thing to say. She doesn't like my localization trivia.
Not a chance.
Oh. Well, that was very ninja-like, Miss Olga. So yeah, this game, people talk a lot about the ruses and how expertly crafted they are, but it's hard for me to really take that to heart from people who have only played the game in English, because
Female soldier, Russian.
now we have
Must be
Pliskin.
Olga Gerlukovich. How do you know? Unlike you, I've been briefed. She's not a
And
dead cell? No.
the voice we're
She
hearing
commands
come
the
out of
Russian private
Pliskin
army. They must be
is,
the
of
ones
course,
patrolling the big shell. That's right. She's
very
one of the
similar
groupers
to
who killed
Solid
the man
Snake in
Colonel
both versions of the
Gerlukovich
game,
died.
English
Watch
and
yourself with
Japanese.
her. She's a tough one.
So if you were playing this in Japanese, you would have heard Olga, who we already know Snake met up with, who sounds like Meryl, talking to someone who sounds like Snake, and then immediately we call someone else who sounds like Snake. And to me, if you're going to talk about the misdirection and ruses of the game, but you've only played the English version, it's like you're kind of missing out on them, and it's hard for me to really say that this version is so expertly tricky and pulls everything off without a hitch, when you're missing like a good half of the ruses that the game tries to pull off. Anyway, we've got some fart gas here, as you can see, around this Harrier jet, which the Harrier jet was mentioned. And there it is, right next to the wheel. I guess someone really didn't want this thing to take off. Nothing to say, though. So there's a lot of players assembled so far, and I mean, that's cool. A lot of characters. A lot of, we don't really know what they want to do. Oh. We know that guy wants to shoot us, but check it out. Give him a little of that. Hoo-ah. Yep. We might be Raiden, but we've still got some pretty cool karate moves. And that can get us through most situations. Oh. Look at this guy here. Well, let's give him a little hoo-ah, too, and let's get the Claymore mines for some reason. And give him that again. So CQC hadn't really, you know, been invented yet as a game mechanic in the way we'll come to know it in later games, but it's still pretty useful to just flip a dude over. And these guys, they're looking right at that exit. Yep. Inconspicuous. Nothing here. Looks like a heavily armed dude. We don't want to mess with him.
Attack team, come back at once. Guard team, stay alert.
And alright, we can mosey on our merry way to the EF connecting bridge. I mean, it seems pretty clear. But we did just get a mine detector! Oh my gosh. Look. There are Claymore mines in that area. They seem to be stealth-equipped, invisible to the naked eye. Well, good thing I've played these games before and had the foresight to equip my mine detector. Oh.
Be careful. There are Claymore
Oh!
mines there.
Who is this?
Stealth-equipped Claymore mines, invisible to the naked eye.
Well, I couldn't have discovered that on my own.
Identify yourself.
Just call me Deep Throat.
Deep Throat? You mean from Shadow Moses?
Mr. X, then.
Mr. X?
X
now,
gonna give
is
it to ya.
Why would it matter if I called you Deep Throat?
Never mind about that.
Why did you contact me?
Let's just say I'm one of your fans.
And of course, we gotta talk
Someone
to
calling himself
Uncle
Mr. X just
Uncle
contacted
Roy
me.
about it.
Do you know anything about it?
No, and whoever it was,
Oh my
it
God.
wasn't a burst transmission.
And it wasn't a burst
The transmission
transmission?
was sent from within
So
the
hey,
big
here's a
shell.
little bit more
called
localization
himself
trivia.
Deep Throat
I
at
do like
first.
Mr. X's
Do you
voice.
think-
I do
I
like the
call that
English
part
version of this
too,
game.
But the possibility
Don't-
of it
don't make
being
any
true
mistake.
is none. Gray Fox was the one
Gray
who
Fox.
used that alias in Shadow Moses. and
However,
he's dead.
even though I like the big,
Could
you know, the
be.
big
Exercise
husky,
extreme caution.
oh, maybe I shouldn't describe it so erotically, but the very masculine, Russian accent with the filter over it, it sounds very cool. However, there's only a couple characters we've run into so far with a Russian accent. And in addition to that, in the Japanese version of the game, that's right, like I said, bringing up the localization again. The Japanese version of the game, when Mr. X was directly quoting lines from MGS1, such as stealth-equipped Claymore mines, etc. When you play it in Japanese, those are just filtered voice clips from MGS1 of the Cyborg Ninja saying it. And when this new Deep Throat, this Mr. X, says lines that are new, it is a slightly different voice with a similar filter. So, again, you're supposed to be really, really suspicious as, oh look, there are still McFarlane toy boxes. I guess I was wrong. Nothing here. So, you're supposed to be very, very suspicious, as is the character Raiden, about what's going on, because you're hearing literal reused voice clips, and you're hearing familiar voices, you're hearing what sounds like Meryl talk to Snake on a walkie-talkie, only to then call another character who sounds exactly like Snake. I think a lot is actually lost in the English translation. So again, when I hear people say, oh, we got another cardboard box. What's this one about? Box 2, transport electric appliances. Well, okay. So yes, when I hear people who profess how expertly crafted all of the misdirection and ruses are in this game, only to then go on and reveal that they've only played the English version, it's a little... I don't know. I don't know if I can trust that opinion, you know? But what I can trust Is SOCOM supper. Yeah, we got the SOCOM suppressor. That's going to be very handy. There will be a layout similar to this in a future Metal Gear game where you have to, you know, because I can't climb over it like that. I gotta go through the vents. So we are a lean, mean murder machine now with our suppressed handgun, but I don't know. Is Raiden really the type to murder? Yes, he is. After all, he's done over like 3,000 million missions in VR. He's an expert at infiltration and espionage, and he thinks Solid Snake is so cool. So yeah, I don't think Raiden's really got any reason to avoid doing a little murder as a treat.
Freeze!
Hey, why did I come down here? Well, that's why I came down here. He enjoys all the killing. That's why. That's correct. He also enjoys disposing of bombs that are in really obvious, really weird places.
Only an amateur would do.
See? Even Stillman's not
All the bombs
impressed.
that have been found so far don't appear to be in the right kind of locations, and the quantity of explosives is insufficient.
Yeah, it's just one pack of C4 in a really weird
There's
place.
something else going on here. Get a move on with the disposal, right? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Okay.
It's a trap?
I don't know.
His Jedi powers
I
are
wanna
acting
tell
up.
Pliskin to watch his back too. Just hurry.
So let's take a look at the map right now. That's the wrong button. That's also the wrong button. It's this button. You can see a cool function of the map is not only is it three-dimensional and you can turn it, but it does tell you where the bombs are. So I do think that's neat. But you can also see that we've already disposed of half of them. And it doesn't really seem like we've been playing the game much. Does it really seem like, you know, we've been doing a ton? I don't know. Kind of seems like we're on a really goofy, silly little side quest. There's a sexy girl magazine there, but I can't quite grab it. Oh. Well. He does enjoy all the killing. And that man's body just tumbled down the stairs like a slinky. Now, we did kill in MGS1. We avoided killing, as much as possible with Snake because, you know, he's part of philanthropy now. He's a good boy. Raiden, on the other hand, he knows all the tricks. He also knows the trick of equipping a ration. Hello. So if you get yourself in real big trouble, eventually they might do a clearing phase. Now, our Claymore mines are not stealth equipped, so you can see it right there.
Understood. Reinforcements are on their way to Strut F. Intensify the level of security.
See, what this game, you know, lacks in great pacing and interesting environments, it's got some narrative theming. So maybe my penchant for murder as Mr. Well, I almost just said a spoiler there, but as Mr. Raiden. Mr. Boring Name the Raiden. Oh no, we do know his name is Jack. That's correct, because Rose keeps jeopardizing the mission by calling us Jack. So Jackie boy here you know, he thinks Solid Snake is cool. So he's gonna do a little bit of war crimes.
Nothing here.
If it suits us. But we can also just cartwheel by if it doesn't suit us. The Fa connecting bridge. At least we've been able to go across several of these bridges without incident. Incident, of course, meaning cutscene. That thing could cause an incident, but yeah, the ciphers now appear as enemies, I guess you could call them. Obstacles. It's a little hard to phrase exactly what they are. Anyway. Oh.
Freeze!
We can still get dog tags as Raiden.
Are you going to shoot me?
Oh, am I gonna shoot you? Oh, tell me. Do you know what pain is? Well, I guess you're not as big a fan as I am. Alright. Let's get his dog tag. And let's pick this guy up. Oh, you know, I'm on the wrong bridge to do what I wanted to, actually. So I don't think I can do what I wanted to. No, and even though his legs are sliding through right there, we can't actually... push him through. But what we can do is use the coolant to wake him up, which is part of what makes the coolant so cool.
Freeze!
You can hold him up again. He's in a weird position. Oh.
What's going on? Respond. Communications with the FA connecting bridge have ceased.
Well, they're going to want to send a bunch of dudes out after us, but we've had enough of that. Let's just go through here to the Strut-a-Pump. And look, somehow, some way, we have cycled all the way back around to Strut A. So let's take a look at the map. That means we've got a bomb in Strut A that we've already seen all of. We've got Strut B. We got a bomb there we already know where it is. And we've got a bomb in Strut C. So we just did half of that pretty easily without incident. Again, some alerts. Some killing. But not a lot of
Freeze!
gameplay ratio, I would say. Yeah. Gonna give me that dog tag, aren't you? Oh, that's good, because you know what happens to dudes who don't give me dog tags. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. Perhaps some foreshadowing. Game has a character named Stillman, and it's not a transparent allegory for being still. Clearly, this game still had an editor, yes. Hey, not bad. Yes, this was before we got, you know, the Kojima naming convention of, well, what's my character trait? Well, I'm a dead guy, so but I don't really die, so I'm Die Hard Man. It's kind of interesting because if you look,
Freeze!
Foxhound has Mega Man X naming conventions. But then, once you get to, you know, Peace Walker and Death Stranding and such, oh, that's a good boy. Give me that dog tag. Once you get to Peace Walker and Death Stranding, the characters start having OG Mega Man names. I might mention it when we get to it, but that was in the works far before you might have thought, because there was a character named Snake Man that was going to appear in Metal Gear Solid 4, let's equip the sensor. Ah, there it is. There's the bomb. That character did not end up appearing, but you might recognize the name Snake Man from literally being a Mega Man boss. I don't know what's up with that naming convention. I don't know why the director seemed to like it so much, but yeah. Now, you say that Still Man is not a man who represents stillness, but is his entire story about failing to prevent the church bombing? You know, did he not remain still? Was his fatal downfall not that he was the still man, and through his own inaction, not only in relation to that particular incident, but also his lack of action when Fat Man, see, Fat Man. Now that is a World War II reference. However, Fat Man, who has the attribute of being fat, was Still Man not also, you know, guilty of being too still, too complacent, when Fat Man was showing signs of, you know, a little bit of craziness? Maybe Still Man's inaction is his downfall. Maybe he truly is the Still Man. It's a lot to think about as we just crawl around these pipes, defusing bombs and getting cardboard boxes. Truly, it says a lot about society. Truly. Go back to the ab connecting bridge. Oh.
Jack, do you remember the day we met?
Yeah.
I'm kind of busy right now, Rose.
You're right. Sorry.
I do remember.
Yeah?
It was right after I transferred to New York. There were all
Oh.
these tourists around you in front of the Federal Hall.
Federal
A
Hall.
group of middle-aged Japanese ladies came up and asked me which building it was that King Kong was climbing in the movie. I said it was probably the Chrysler building.
And
then you showed up
Raiden,
and started mouthing
being a
off.
nerd,
You were like,
showed up
"No,
and
it's the Empire
actually,
State."
he saw
I
a
said
woman
the
once and
Chrysler
went,
Building is in
actually,
Godzilla."
you're incorrect. And we're
We
supposed to
started
believe that this is a
arguing, and I forgot
lovey-dovey
all
perfect
about the
relationship.
tourists. I was insisting that I was right,
As
and you were
Raiden's
doing the
memory
same.
of them
The
first
next thing we
meeting,
knew, the Japanese women had gone
he
away,
immediately
and we
just
ended up going to the
actually'd her
skyscraper museum
in
to
front of a
see
bunch
who
of
had the
people
better
to publicly
recall.
shame
We
her.
argued all the way to Battery Park.
And they
For
argued all the way to
nothing.
Battery Park.
Since the museum was closed.
And also,
went our
remember
separate
that so
ways from the
far,
museum.
Rose has asked us
And then I
2
found you again by
questions.
coincidence
She has
out in the
asked us,
base
do we
corridor.
remember what day
And
tomorrow
it
is?
was a
And she has
coincidence
also
that
asked
we
us,
were
do you
actually
remember when
working
we
at the
first
same
met?
place.
And somehow,
we
some
went
way,
to the
this
top of the
beautiful
Empire
storybook
State.
romance,
It was so
Raiden
beautiful.
cannot put 2 and
I
2
could look
together
down on the
because
Chrysler
he's an
building from
idiot and this
120
relationship is
stories above
doomed to
ground.
fail.
I felt
Y'all need counseling.
overwhelmed. I didn't care anymore who was right.
And that was our first date.
That was their
We
first
watched
date.
King Kong in your
He
apartment
publicly
a bunch of
shamed a
times
woman
that
in front
night.
of tourists.
Didn't sleep till
And
morning.
and he was like, no,
If it weren't for
we're gonna
that
watch this
coincidence,
movie so I
we
can
wouldn't be
prove to you
together.
how
I know.
wrong you are.
I'm sorry. Jack.
And
I'm taking up
no,
your
I don't
time again.
remember our anniversary or when
Take
we
care.
met or anything, you know. Oh, this game.